A lot of people argue that, compliance is a minimum level of quality expected from companies. But if you spend all of your resources and your time working on things that don't actually produce risk reduction, and they really just do nothing but create additional effort and eat up all of your resources and capacity, the idea of understanding and knowing and managing third-party accesses is something that everyone desires and wants. And solutions have really just come, into the market that are now solving that problem. But for the last 20 years, because everyone has been deficient in the compliance requirements associated with third-party access, we've all risk accepted them. We literally write little forms and hand them to this chain of command where eventually somebody in the C-suite or in the executive leadership team or even the board has to acknowledge and say, yes, we have no idea who these people actually are in these third parties that we're interacting with. And a space, by the way, which is booming. More and more companies are interacting with more and more third parties. And we accept the risk of a bad outcome because we can't fix the problem. Doesn't it make sense to spend effort and time, energy, resources, dollars on fixing the actual problem instead of continuing to risk accept it and continuing to believe that you're going to be able to absorb the losses associated with a bad day? The answer is obviously yes. And I think this is where we all get frustrated because when we look at how regulations are formed, when we look at how these standards are developed, they're done so with an absence of understanding of how things actually operate in the real world. So I think compliance has really gotten itself into a space in technology where compliance demands are not yielding risk and threat reduction. Compliance demands are just generating work and eating up your resources. And we can do one of two things, right? We can just resolve ourselves to this notion that this compliance space is never going to change. We're going to have to continue to feed the beast. Or we can say, look, we're going to make sure that we meet the compliance requirements by focusing our attention on actually solving the problems. And when we actually solve the problems, the answers to those compliance questionnaires and assessments and evaluations are more honest and more truthful, and they're more accurate as it relates to how much risk we've reduced in our organizations. So good luck everybody out there on the fight to meet compliance obligations and keep your company safe and secure. But there are ways to do it, and there are certainly lots of organizations and lots of companies that you can talk to. Just hope that at some point that conversation leads you to reaching out and contacting SecZetta.